All right, now for something completely different. I'd like to take a look at the number system and how you can use the number system. And we're taking a look at a tune called "Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out," written in 1923 by Jimmy Cox, also played by Eric Clapton in his Unplugged album, on his Unplugged album many years ago. If you want to listen to the tune. All right, so this tune is a nice chord progression, and I want to take a look at how to look at this chord progression from a number perspective, sometimes called the Nashville numbering system. Okay, so diatonic chords come from the scale, like in the case of um, a C major scale, we're going to end up with the diatonic chords, the chords derived according to the scale. We're going to arrive at the chords C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G or G7, A minor, and B diminished. So that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 chord in the key of C major. Now, this diagram here tells us that we have a 1 chord, but it doesn't tell us what key I'm in. So let's do it in the key. Let's take these numbers and play them in the key of C. So the first number is the 1 chord. Well, I know that the 1 chord is going to be a C major chord. So that's pretty easy. And then it says 3/7 chord. So normally diatonically the 3 chord is going to be an E minor chord, uh, as opposed to an E7 chord. The E7 chord will have a G sharp in it, and so we can't call it diatonic. This chord is actually going to be a secondary dominant. And then we have a 6/7 chord, and here's our 6th chord, but it's not a 7th chord diatonically. And in this chord, there's a C sharp in this chord, so it also does, plays that same little trick of being a secondary dominant, adding more movement with that C sharp that ends up moving to that D minor uh, chord, the 2 chord, the unaltered 2 chord, back to the 6/7 chord, to the A7 chord, back to the 2 chord diatonic chord D minor, right? Then to the 4 chord, and we're not going to play the 4/7, we're just going to play a 4, because it moves more nicely to the augmented 4, or the sharp 4 diminished 7th. That means the chord is going to be built on the sharp 4 degree, which is F sharp. So F sharp diminished 7th, and then back to the 1 of C, back, and then 6/7, A7, and then 2/7, D7, and then 5/7, G7. So this chord progression, if I'm looking at it with these numbers, 3, 4, A7, D minor, and then F diminished, so A7, A7, back to the 2, sharp 4 diminished, A7, D7, and G7, back to the 1, and so on. You can hear that movement. Yeah, that 3/7 is a nice chord. I've also heard it played without the 3/7, just moving directly to the A7 with the bass line. All right, so that's cool. So when we don't look at it in a number form, we just take a look at a chart. The chart here would be C E7 A7 D minor A7 and so on. We're playing exactly the same thing, but here's the chart, not in number form. If we take out the chart, we should be able to recognize the chord progression just strictly in a number form, right? Now the question is, why bother learning progressions in number form like this? Uh, it's especially useful when you want to change key. So here we have the same tune in the key of G, and we know that the notes in the key of G are G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. That key signature, 1 sharp, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. And so the one chord with the number system, where is that now, is going to be obviously G. And the 3, G, A, B, is going to be B7. And then the 6 is going to be E7, right? G, A, B, C, D, E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the 2, G, A, is going to be A minor. And then the 6, 7 is going to be G, A, B, C, D, E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to be E7. And the A minor is going to be the 2 chord, the diatonic 2 chord, no alterations, no secondary dominant type chord. And then the 4 chord, C major, the 4 chord in the key of G, C, A7, 2/7, G. As you can hear, you can hear this the same progression. I'm just playing in short chords and the C. And you get the idea. We could work our way all over the fretboard. But getting back to the number system, so we can do the same thing in other keys, and this is what I'm inviting you to do. It's a great exercise, and it'll teach you how to change keys and how to learn this number system a little bit. The same deal goes for the key of F. Here we are in the key of F. F, A7, D7, G minor, D7, so in the key of F, there's 1 flat, which is B flat. The notes in the key of F are F, G, A, B flat, C, D, and E, and F, right? And so we notice that the 4 chord is a B flat chord leading up to the augmented 4, which is a B natural in this case, B diminished 7th, and F, D7, G7, and C7, and so on. And the same thing goes for the key of D. 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. The chords are going to be, the 1 chord is D. The 3/7 chord is F sharp 7, D, E, F sharp, right? Tone, 7. And then the 6 chord is going to be D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, 7. And then the 2 chord, and then the 6, 7, and then back to the 2 chord. It's all the same stuff, right? And that's the way to think of keys and to think of key changes. That this kind of thing is not only helpful in jazz standards and and blues stuff, but it's tremendously helpful in simpler pop tunes, right? Where you've got a singer who wants to do a certain tune, but they don't want to sing it in that specific key. All singers are different. So you have to be able to change the key. And so this number system becomes an essential when you're working with a singer and they want to change the key. Uh, you just use a template of the scale, and you number those scale degrees, and then you translate that to other keys. So I hope that was a help to you. That's using let's call it the Nashville number system for now. I mean, the system was used 300 or 400 years ago, but let's just call it the Nashville number system. When you study classical harmony, you use the same stuff. You use these same numbers, except it's just a little more complicated. Uh, this will be a great help to you, and I invite you to work your way through this logic. If this was a help to you, give us a like, give us a subscribe, or leave a comment, and that would be super. We'd really appreciate that. So great. I think I think this will move things forward. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon.